Oh, why is it on again? Why does audio do this? Okay, now you can hear music. There it is. Hello. Okay, I'm gonna go away now. Hello. Hello. Hello, Cinemonsters, an asteroid, Wolvar, Sapphire Lourdes, Mr. Noske, Zero to Hero Z. And I'm very tired. Hello. Thank you for the subscription, Cinemonsters. That slug very wet. Wow. Wet slug. Fish even. Alright. So now, is everyone prepared for today? Today we're gonna treat like a speedrun marathon. I have to submit 4 different categories to Games Done Quick. I've been... This week's been an eventful week. And I meant to do some more stuff earlier, but now we're here. And I've got to do it now, or I have a feeling I won't have much time later. So I'm going to do it while I can. Wiggles and clacks. What does that mean? Is it just like a fidget toy kind of thing? Plastic centipede. On the leaderboard, though, I want to do a better explanation. Good times on RD2. I mean, I wouldn't say my time's a good time. Let's be honest here. Please. So we got 40. Someone else got a sub 40, yes. And it was very good. Surprised it wasn't demonic. Demonic was very close, though. We'll have to see it when we can. Sound effects, building in Lego games. The building in Lego games is always so cool. Because it just kind of makes itself in front of you really quick. Love that. Sub 35, but I drowned stupidly. No. Hello, random fandom. Alright, the idea is I want you guys to help ask questions like it was a real marathon. I need to answer them during stream. Oh, maybe not specifically. I'm trying to set up hand tracking here. Give me a second. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm going to try to commentate like if I was giving a marathon, and then I'm going to be dealing with otherwise. Hello, Evo. Hi. How's it going? I'm new. What's Rain World? I don't know. We're trying this new game out today, guys. Doing alright. Alright. That's good to hear. Trashy cliché. I'm new. Can you guys help explain this game to me? I'm a slug cat or something? Just got home from the office. I'm not Sure what else to say in this context. Slug cat dies at the end. No! But yes, I want to do at least 2 runs. And that's what we're gonna push for. Is to do Riv and 1 other run. Scarmouche. Where it's me explaining as much as I can. Like with the marathon. And if you guys, like, feel like I should say something, say it. Also, while I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna remove the emotes appears on screen thing. I forgot I have that. We should not have that right now. Died of Raymond Farmer days, got stressed and rage quit. Oh no. It did play the rain. You just probably can't hear it. No more rain. They're literally frame perfect. They're not actually frame perfect, but as far as anyone cares, it is. It's multiple, like, within 2 frames input.
You are kind of blowing my mind right now.
Hello. Hello, Sinder. How's it going? Thank you for 10 months. It means a lot. We're doing a route with a bunch of water so people will be turned away. Why would people not... Why would people not like that? Been a busy week. Understandable. Of course, if you want to talk later, Evo, that might be good too. Let me know. Fizzy model. Every time you say fizzy model, I don't know what you mean. Like, I have to think about it for a while. Exactly. It's a lot more time in the office than I'm used to. Okay. Don't mean this to be weird, but you have a really nice voice. Nice. Well, thank you. Well, now we're doing singing, apparently. It's happening. There's no escape from the singing. How far away is it now? It's not showing up for me for some reason. Thanks for the reminder. Well, it appeared on screen from everyone else's thing. Okay. Let me make sure of settings real quick. 10 times full spears randomized. We'll turn that on. Okay. 34% there. Wow. You need to add 3 more percent. Sorry about that. Okay. Why do I feel like I'm missing something? I guess there really is anything else. I think we're good. Sub 35 cloak percent right now. Okay, sorry about that. I just need to make sure the tracking is working. And then I'm going to see how this goes. We're going to continue doing with karma caching on and not with the otherwise anything else. The open gates, that is. Because I know people have been thinking about that.
They're here.
Popping man.
This is bad.
Hello, Waddly. I thought you were already following, but hello. How's it going? I forgot to turn on my virtual controller. I've already forgotten that I'm doing commentary. We'll just go through it a bit. That was the account on my phone. Why do you have two different accounts? Funny how channel points redemptions don't appear on mobile. Surprised to see them happen. Okay. What is a rivulet? I don't know. I have two Twitch accounts. I know. Why? Does it matter? Oh wait, we have this on because I was playing. All right, good enough reason to reset. We have 4 Twitches. What does that mean? What are we talking about? Oh, okay, wasn't there. You tell us to ask questions. These aren't the questions I thought you would ask. Hello, Fake Row. Don't know if I said your name correctly, but hello. How many questions are we allowed to ask each? They have to actually make sense. What is a rock? Rock can be whatever you want it to be, especially if you're arty. Have you considered eating it? There is the mod, edible rocks. It gives you like half a pip of food now. Soak the fire in some commentary. Alright. Ooh. Do people mostly play a controller or keyboard for this game? For a lot of people, they play keyboard just because it's a lot easier to be sure of your inputs. For really advanced movement, the only reason that you really care about keyboard over controller is the fact that if you look in the bottom left, you can see my inputs, or at least it should show up, except it's not showing up because of course it isn't. Now it is. Hello? Why are you borking? Let me do this again. It crashed. We're gonna not use it anymore. Okay. Borg. Of course. Alright, so the main reason why you want to use keyboard, why some people care about it, is for only one reason only, and that's because you can be sure that you're only pressing one direction without pressing any of the others. It's also for fast pole climb good for that because you can immediately press left and then right, etc. You can press directly downwards easily as well. Controller still works just as good for every other situation. If I'm going to say it, for basically every game, and especially this one, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Just do what you're comfortable with. And if you feel like, this is hard to do that one thing, maybe I change to the other. Maybe you do that. I changed from controller to keyboard, mostly because my controller broke, but also because it was interesting to figure out the new stuff. Throw myself off so many ledges using the controller lately. Depends. Yeah, you need to know to not press down when you're jumping from a high height onto a weird spot, because then you will just roll off the edge. Hello, Nano Ferret. Hello, Wild. The pups blocked the spear. What did you do, Nano? You killed the pups. Oh, hello, Saren. Controlling of the ability faster rolling. So the thing that we're using, and if I can get, I'll actually try to get it back up a bit. No board. Custom. Is it doing it? Alright, you see the cheat button? You see the cheat button flash up? That means we're activating cheat mode. That's the joke. So if I set it so if I press spacebar, it does a slight downwards input instead of just a full downwards input, where essentially that means I can do the fast roll instead. You'll know. I actually am not going to use it for now because I don't want to use the in-game visualizer right for this thing. But that you can make your keyboard pretend it's a controller, and that's what we do just for that reason specifically. You're getting so bullied. Good. The pups are the best thing. I love them so much. 13 at once. There's 13 different colors. I thought it would do all different 13. Controller is better, PlayStation or Xbox. Depends on what you want. If you want a D-pad, you definitely want to use PlayStation. That's my opinion. Alright, so we're doing Riv. So we're going to be doing the Fish Cat campaign, where essentially we are the much faster character that can breathe underwater for a much longer period of time. Can't actually breathe underwater. You'll notice the meter actually showing the amount of air we have, given the new update for downpour, allowing us to be able to see that now. Additionally, pressing jump under the water. Normally you wouldn't want to do that just because it uses air to actually get that boost of speed you get from using jump underwater. And right now we're eating enough food so that we can actually rest at a shelter. Like a game like Dark Souls, you need to actually get to a specific location to save, but we also need to eat, and then if we eat enough and save, we get enough karma to actually be able to leave and go to another region. And essentially, we are going to glitch the game out to allow us get to the highest karma that we need to be able to get to the next region, because we need a certain amount of karma to go between regions. And that's very important for us. So if you're here, we just get to our shelter here, and then it'll automatically close. For Riv, one of the big things is that our rain timer is really, really low. We don't have a lot of time before it rains. Essentially, when it starts raining, it'll instantly kill us. Thank you for the follow, Lachlan DS. we're doing commentary right now. But yes, we do karma caching, which is essentially if we have enough food, not enough food to rest normally, which is up to the bar in the bottom right, the circles that fill up, then we can still just hold down in the shelter to starve, which gets us to the next cycle, but doesn't save the game. But essentially, we can just keep doing that and abuse the safety mechanic of if you quit out within 30 seconds, you keep your karma, but because we don't actually save because it was a starve, it brings us back to the previous cycle, but gives us that karma. It's very interesting. Using emulators is basically a task? No. But we are using a virtual controller to be able to pretend our keyboard inputs are a controller so that I can use the space bar to have a very particular controller analog input direction downwards so that I can do a very different type of roll during certain movement. That'll come in factor later. One of the other things is that normally we have settings to make it so normally we don't allow a certain setting which makes it so all cycles are the longest length possible, but because this character has really short cycles as it is, we allow it just because it wouldn't be possible to do this run consistently, because otherwise we'd just be resetting till we get the timer we want anyway. For recognized run, is vanilla exploits allowed? Yes, vanilla exploits allowed as a setting. Vanilla exploits as a setting basically allows a lot of glitches that exist in the base game to be possible again. Or one of them is the karma caching that we did, which was us being in that shelter for a little bit. Now allows us to actually be able to get into the next area that we're going to see in just a second here. That's going to be Pipe Yard. Okay. Very dangerous guys here. That was a interesting situation. Give me a second. I just accidentally... We're not going to Pipe Yard, I'm going to Chimney. But that was a very unfortunate situation. We did a very particular movement accidentally that almost got me killed that we've called a ploink, where essentially if I press jump with this character as I hit the water at a certain speed, it sends me into the air super fast and we don't really know why, and it stunned me because I hit the ceiling so hard. And those guys were scavengers, which also can use spears and throw them and hit us and kill us instantly. Anything that kills you instantly in this game as well. But for this character, it's not too bad because there's not a lot of creatures, and it's more on the fact that the cycles aren't very long and you need to be able to get food. But because we already know our way around, it isn't too bad. So yes, we're going in the chimney. I don't know why I say Pipe Yard. I keep thinking this area is Pipe Yard. It's because it reminds me of it in some ways. But we're in the gutter, which is a sub-area of Chimney that is just added to the game. Chimney is a base game region for this game. Also, we're playing the DLC for Rain World, which is Downpour, which normally this Slugcat isn't available, and neither is this area, and otherwise a lot of other things that we're going to be doing. The water we're in is mud. Makes it so we can't move nearly as well. I'm going to hit this guy so he gets out of the way. And then how much RNG is a problem in this game, or at least in this run? It's usually not too bad. Right here is a little annoying, but that worked out. We were able to stab that guy twice without too much problem. But still a lot less than a lot of other runs, which is why I've really liked doing this run so far, because it's a really long distance you get to go. It also purposely limits you with its short cycles, so you actually save at certain points. One thing that we noticed with a lot of the DLC runs is that you can go really long distances without actually having a need to save, comparative to some of the base game runs, which can be a little annoying, because you'll go really long setups without save. Alright, we're climbing out of the new area back into the old area. Chimney, if you played this game, you might start to recognize where we are. There's a bunch of bat flies. That spider was trying to stalk us. So at this point, we need to be aware of the cycle timer, where essentially after a certain amount of time, it'll start raining. Although it's raining right now, that's just the cosmetic rain that exists. The full downpour, which totally is not a joke at all, but the full downpour, when it actually comes, will kill anything that's outside, so we need to be back inside a shelter as we can. We're trying to get to a very particular one, and we're going to be just making it just in time. So just focusing on making it right now. We'll go this way, just to make sure, because I don't want to do the fancy jump right now. Start hearing it coming in. And then we're in the last room here. Hopefully no more scavengers really mess with us. So this will be our first save of the run. And now we'll be going to our first story point of the run. We're going to be doing a few things this run to actually finish the story for Rivulet. And now that we're here, we're actually going to say what we're actually doing, which is the story... the story speed run for Rivulet. And essentially, we're going to be going straight to 5 Pebbles, which is a very important character of this game. And we're going to get something from him. And be really rude about it while doing so. This is Britain before umbrellas. Oh no. Alright. So now this is... Rivulet, as we're playing, is much farther into the timeline than a lot of the other characters you play as. And so now there's actually these flying centipedes out in Chimney, where normally you'd only see them in Sky Islands. Didn't want to mess with that guy, but it's fine. I really like a lot of the changes that they've done in Downpour compared to from base game. One of the things that you'll notice is that the song playing right now, normally when we go into new areas, a few other things, that's an interesting thing happening there. There's a dude there. He's gonna go now because we stabbed him twice. It's a vulture. Not too much of a threat. But a lot of the songs will continue playing even after we've left areas where they normally would stop playing. And then additionally, they added a lot of changes for just how the game looks in general. As we'll notice, as the cycle starts to end, it gets a lot darker and it actually becomes nighttime. We're going to be in an area where it doesn't rain because we're so high up. And we'll start to actually notice that as it happens. There's also obviously the cosmetic rain that we see everywhere, which normally you wouldn't see nearly as much outside of trying the game with mods. And I think it adds a lot to how this game looks. Makes it real nice. A lot of areas have slightly different palettes as well, depending on the character, to fit the mood of that character. In our case, for Rivulet, so the fish character, and there's a lot of rain all the time. Now we'll talk about a little bit of the lore of this game. As we kind of said, we need karma to actually go through gates, and essentially we get karma by actually surviving a cycle, which is a day. And so one of the big things about this game is to be able to escape the cycle, and actually no longer be reincarnated is the way to put it, as everyone inevitably gets reincarnated a bunch of times. And so there's a bunch of giant robots that were created in the past to help everyone be able to reach that level of enlightenment, except they can't reach it themselves, and they went a little crazy because of that. The dude there. We're gonna let them fall off. There's 4 of these white lizards I need to pay attention. That's the second one. Because they're quite annoying here. Also, as Rivulet, because we're so fast, and it's changing our base stats, our backflip actually sends us much higher than it normally would, which is very cool. 2 pole plants here, pretending to be poles. We don't want to touch them. Love me some crazy robots, yes. So now one thing about these robots is we're climbing one right now. We're about to see the first one we'll see of this run, which is 5 Pebbles. 5 Pebbles is having a bit of a rough time after he tried to escape the cycles himself, and his experiment entirely failed, filling him with the rot. We'll see what that is real quick. We'll get to see a bit of a sunset here beforehand as we reach the top of the area. It's bad is what it is. They gave their computers depression. Oh no. Fruity Pebbles. But essentially there's another iterator or robot in this area that normally there isn't two so close to each other, but there was an exception for this case, which ended up not working out too well for the both of them, as now both of them are very broken because of it, because they too much water input. We're gonna put it and leave it at that for now. I'm gonna change something real quick. Don't think my virtual controller was actually on. It was taking keyboard inputs. Actually, no, my virtual controller crashed. That's unfortunate. Well, also we passed an echo. They don't matter for this run, so we don't care. I'm not going to worry too much. Normally those guys increase our max karma, which we don't actually care about ascending and crossing ourselves out in this case. We just care about doing the story only. And so, Pebbles wants us to go and help Looks to the Moon, their neighbor nearby. And so we're going to go get something from him, and then we're going to go bring it to Looks to the Moon. But first, we're going to be really, really rude about it. So, I go right in here. It'll take a little bit. Something you'll start to notice is that this area is unlike any other area. Thematically and otherwise, mechanics-wise, as the gravity will start changing off 0G off and on over and over again. We're also not gonna go fastest route unless I get something very particular, which I feel like I won't get. We'll see. This area is usually all 0G, but because we're so far in the future and 5 Pebbles is broken down quite a lot, it's not fully operational. So now 5 Pebbles is here. He's going to talk to us. We hate that. So we're going to stab him twice, and then we're going to wait for the 0G to turn back on because he turns it off. And then things rising. We can backflip. We can make it here. And very good. I hate going below us. So we're going to go up here because there's a lot of blue stuff that likes to kill us. But also, yeah, that helps us skip some dialogue. We don't need to hear what he says. We already know what we need to do. And then we're going to see him a bit later, and hopefully we're going to avoid him triggering, knowing that we're there on the way out. But we're going to go down here as we can. I need to do it carefully to not touch the blue. And actually maneuver these well. I don't like this pit down here because this look gets very weird to control compared to the others just because of how fast you move. We're in the 0G area, it's primary cortex. This area does not exist in base game. It is very interesting to actually just run into. We're going to see a lot of areas that we've normally seen as well. Oh, that's unfortunate. It did that direction. A lot of areas we haven't seen normally as well. Otherwise, we're gonna eat these neurons because we can. So we're eating parts of Pebbles' brain, is these flying things here. So we can actually save. We're gonna take a save here in a bit. As we can. Not gonna worry too much about it. Grabbing onto that's a little annoying. One good thing about the new downpour is that we can actually throw downwards in 0G. And just like physics taught us, if we throw something in a direction, it also brings us towards us. Towards where we threw it, I mean. So, thank you, physics. Thank you for the help. Hello, I still rose. Hello. Thank you for the good luck. So we're going to hear a background noise every once in a while, and 0G is going to turn on and off. There isn't really too much of a threat from this point on. But I just need to make sure I don't do anything stupid. Also, yes, there's a lot of green lightning we'll notice around here. For people who've played the base game, green lightning usually means we're about to die. That guy was nice today. That guy to our right can move anywhere he wants. And I hate him. But he decided to not be in the way. Quite a nice guy. Alright. We're closing in on our final destination here. Oh, hello, Scurry. Hello. Hello, everyone from Scurry's Raid. We're doing a... I almost died. Okay. We're doing a commentary run of the Rivulet speedrun right now. I'm trying to keep up with it real quick, so I'm sorry I'm going to miss some things, but how's it going? What did Scurry speedrun today? Well, what did Scurry do today? I don't know if they speedrun or what they did, but hello. Don't die to Proto. I'll only die to a Proto if I want to. Also, yes, hello everyone. While we're getting tossed around here when I can't really move. Raid from game developing? Cool, I thought I saw them doing that. Very cool. I hope that went well. Okay. Hopefully this red thing is in the way. Now we're going to be touching this, and we're going to be truly be balling. If I can hit it. Maybe. Okay. Also, yes, I'm sorry. I'm setting up commentary for a Games Done Quick submission. So I want to make sure I get everything in that I want to. Now that we be ballin', I can activate it so I can have my own semi anti-gravity field. But yes, I'm trying to get 4 good submissions for it. As I can. But yes, I hope the game development did really well. Also, this means the back and forth gravity is going to be off now that we actually took the power out. I can thank everyone for the stuff when I get to a save here. One thing about the game that we've decided is because now that there's an in-game timer, we don't care about real time. And so if we are in a shelter, there's no problem with just like walking away and doing something. So when I get to one, I'll take care of everything. Which we're almost there.
They're here. This is bad.
Yes, thank you for all the follows. I'll be doing at least one more run after this as well. for a different character
They're here.
too.
This is
But
bad.
essentially, we're just leaving the area and going back to where Pebbles is. Trusting that you take the path back, pretty much. Well, right now, going anywhere else isn't too good because Precipice doesn't actually go anywhere. Which, if it went to Shoreline, that'd be really good. And Shoreline is where Moon is. Yes, thank you for the follows. Jama, Jaharis, Cheesy Bob, Brinozo, Vatrin, Kiwi Fruit, and Midnight the Shapeshifter. I normally am a speedrunner for this game. I've speedrun for a really long time. I also do 3D modeling, which is why it has, which is why I have this VTuber here. It doesn't for Riv, as far as I'm aware, because timeline it broke in half. Unfortunate. Also, yes, there is a lot of the channel points redeems. That has a lot of the other fancy things that I've made, and I really, really like the Slug Pup one personally. Yes, I hope that makes sense. There's a whole region that normally would connect to Looks for the Moon that we have to, that would be really nice to go to, but it's broken down as this character, which is unfortunate, so we're just gonna go back out the way we came. So yes. So yes, thank you all. I always don't know what to say during a raid like this. I'm sorry about that, but hello. We're just gonna chill out and talk about stuff. I'm gonna be focusing on commentary a bit though. Feel free to ask any question, and then I will try to answer it as I see it. I also did QA for Downpour, so I do know a good amount more than most people. So we're going to be going back and seeing Pebbles now. I think activating the ball was a mistake. We can kind of do like a little swimming motion and make it to where we want to be. Is this the raid I just came in? Whoa. Come on, you can do it. Sometimes the climbing's a little weird, but that's fine. You don't want to go to the other side. We're gonna wait a little second to get the ball back. Water time. Oh, but I'm gaming. Give me a second. Alright, we'll go back to the right. What are you doing? Alright, so now we make it back to Pebbles. He says some stuff of just where to go with it. He turned off the ball. I forgot he does that. I should be able to just make it, however. I just need to be sure. Hello, Scurry. Hello. I hope game development went well. I messed up the backflip, but that's fine. Wet mouse or landfish? Which one is the truth? No one knows. Landfish being what Pebbles calls you if you take the ball first before talking to him. Goodbye, cool song for 1 second. Pebbles is having a bad time right now. All his everything be broken. So he's just listening to his favorite song right now. Is there any cool orb tech? I'm not sure of everything exactly. Being able to move faster in water, though, that'll be a big deal, especially with one of the regions we're going to be here in a second. Also, just say again, for some people from the raid, I'm trying to do commentary of me submitting to Games Done Quick, or really any marathon. Games on Quick submissions are going to be ending the 7th, so I'm making sure I have something good for that for then. Also, one thing to state just about the game in general is that each room is cut up into, well, different rooms, of course. You have to go through actual pipes to go between different rooms, and then between different regions is a gate like that to be able to load the next area. And you need enough karma to actually make it to go through any gates. Is it an online GDQ or in person? This GDQ will be in person. This summer one. I want to turn on the ball, but I also don't, because it makes us move a little bit slower than just doing pounces, or if I just mess it up a little bit. We do a wall pounce if we really slam our face into a wall, which is unfortunate. We do not want to go too fast going down, because then we slam our face into the wall and then drop the ball. But fine when we made it in there. We're passing by an echo. He raises our max karma. We don't care about that. Also to talk a little bit stuff about Riv. Riv's a very interesting character, especially off of reading dev commentary. They just kind of exist. They already have the... Oh my goodness, I didn't see him. That's fine. Why was he there? Of all places. Unfortunate. We're gonna keep going, though. Really unfortunate when the camouflage ones go into pipes like that, but that happens sometimes. Not the worst situation. He didn't even react when we fell down. That was the part that I don't expect. We'll go back up through. Take this way this time. Now the ball is going to deactivate, which is unfortunate. But also, Rivulet's a very interesting character, because the developers kind of consider them just to be... This is just another day in life of Rivulet. Interacting with godlike entities to them. Taking ball of power from one to another. You know how it is. Rivulet things. So they've already met other iterators and have the mark of communication, which means they can talk to iterators. Is what Pebbles kind of did there. Isn't too bad. We'll see their interaction with Looks to the Moon later. See if I can get this backflip real quick. Didn't really get enough height there. Pretty sure you can make this. We'll just wait here for a second. He called us Wet Mouse. Thank you, Pebbles. Wet Mouse acquired. A second time. I think it's still like slightly disabled power then, which makes it weird when he's talking, because the first time he talks they really want you to know, but the second time it's a little different. Also, yes, at this point, because we've disabled Pebbles' power, Pebbles is the one putting all the rain in the area, which means that cycles aren't going to be nearly as long now. Also, on this gate, I'm actually going to drink water because of the water time. That was redeemed. Alright. Very good. The death was unfortunate, but those kind of things happen sometimes with this game. Sometimes the creatures just go in locations that are really annoying. One thing to know about this game is that all the creature spawns are the same every time, with some exceptions. But how those creatures react and what the personality of each creature is can be wildly different. And then depending on their personality depends on how they react to certain situations. Usually, when in cases of white lizards, they all act relatively the same to each other. And I'll try to camouflage and catch you off guard the same amount. But for creatures like scavengers, which were the guys that I was scared about at the beginning, their stats affect how they react to you in the world a lot. Let's put it that way. Please fall down. Unfortunate. Ooh. So now one thing about holding this ball is that we can't grab anything else while holding this, which can be quite a detriment, but as Riv, that isn't too bad. Alright, let's start paying attention. Make sure we don't mess up too bad. It's always weird because these falls are basically the distance that will stun you. Okay. I don't see anything this time. There's probably a few in here. I only see one. Would be fine to do this. We'll do a slide. No one here. We're going to turn this on. I'm going to stop jumping like that from now on. Hello, Nano. Just scored a 35-44 on cloak percent. Nice. The longer cycles certainly are very interesting to be able to do more. What? Pup and eating? Are you trying to hit a pups with spears again, Nano? Why would you do that? If my internet is working up, you only redeemed 2 things, though. Pork back at it, yes. Alright, we're going back in the chimney. We're going to be going all the way back down chimney, but in a slightly different area this time. And then we're going to be going to industrial from chimney. This game is very open-ended in how a lot of things are connected. And makes it essentially so that you can go in anywhere that you want to. This is one of the later cats that you'd be playing as, so you, at this point you would assume that you know how to get around and the general idea of what you should be doing. And so it's a lot easier to move around with the later cats than it is when initially going around. There is no correct direction or path to really go. There is one that is most likely, and it's probably the easier one for newer players, especially when playing the first time as a survivor or monk character, which is the first 2 characters you'd be playing as. Centipede, get out of my way. A lot of centowings and orange lizards, as you notice. Given this farther into the timeline. Hello, Maddie, ready as well. Alright, we're going to be entering into industrial now. We're going to be going straight to shaded right after, but we need to save first because we died once and our karma isn't high enough. Because we need to be at max karma. So don't understand that devs decided the yellow is our ultimate lizard. The hive mind of the orange lizard, very powerful. Lizard together strong, yes. Every single type of lizard has their own different powers, essentially. And the orange one, or yellow one, they all can communicate with each other, essentially. And there's a lot more of them as the timeline progresses. It's a Karma lizard. A little unfortunate that the ball is active, because he's pushing us around a lot. That's fine. They essentially just spit at us and can jump really high if they want to. That guy was a little calm, though. This centipede could be a worry if I spend too long. I'm starting to get worried. Alright. So essentially with centipedes and a few other creatures, they'll only start to attack you if they see you for long enough. At least have enough stimulus that they know that you're there. And so then they'll actually start to try to kill you. And so that guy was around us for a really long time, so then it gets a little scary. The centipedes kill you with an electric shock on grabbing you. I forgot I needed to eat. That's unfortunate. Go deal with that now. Fortunately, centipedes are a great source of nutrition. Gives us 3 food. I'm gonna forget to eat there a few times if I die once. This guy must have been aggro from earlier. I didn't expect that. That's fine. Land lobster. So that was a little scary because that guy almost killed me as well. Alright, perfect. So now we're going to be able to go into shaded. Since when could Riv eat meat? Always? They're like normal centipedes. All characters can eat centipedes, except for Saint, of course. So shaded is a dark area that's underneath pebbles that has spiders in it. The spiders in this game has never really bothered me as much as other games, but always depends on the person, so people know. No cat's eye. We're going to take a very direct path. Though it's cool and good. We'll take a very direct path through shaded so we can immediately get to shoreline. And then in shoreline, we're going to enter a submerged superstructure, which is technically the last area of the game we actually care about. For our sake, but it's basically a new area that looks to the moon's area underwater. And we need to deliver this ball to a specific location in there. Where's the cyan? I don't know what you need. Some mole lizard. Can't see, but he can hear us. He knows. Green cat axolotl. Very required. Alright. So because we ate one of Pebbles' neurons, we now glow. And so it's a lot easier to see in this area, although we wouldn't really need it. Spider. I don't know why they would grab us like that. That's unfortunate. We can Karma Cash though, so it's not too bad. I don't understand spitter spiders. They shouldn't be able to do that. Sometimes they do that, where they can just grab you, but they're supposed to be ranged characters. And you can't really deal with them in a situation where they're directly above you like that. We're going to Karma Cache and then go there. The red spiders here is Riv? Yes. So Karma Caching, again, is if we purposely hold down while in a shelter with not enough food, it'll starve. Then we can quit out quickly, so it activates the safety mechanism of if you quit out at the beginning of a cycle, it doesn't penalize you for it, but still typically considers it a loss, so you don't keep the save from the starve, but you keep the karma you got from it. They puffed spitters. I don't know about that. They do act weird, though. Batfly. Alright, when we're doing that again, I'm going to pay attention to that guy shows up again. Pebbles is helping us, which is why there's a little overseer guy that pointed us, showing that there was an enemy nearby, but usually that isn't a problem with spiders. Just sometimes they can just decide to do things like it did in that situation, which doesn't really make sense. Alright. He's here now. Can't see us. Good. So he's facing the other way. One thing to say is that this game has a very extensive movement system. At the end of the day, it's actually not too crazy. It's closer to how a fighting game works in some ways. On how you need to input controls in certain ways to do certain moves, like a downwards or a 3, and then jump at the same time to be able to do a slide, and then another jump at a certain time to be able to jump out of it. Then you can do a roll from that, and then backflip, and everything kind of just works together. Certain other situations where you use items to actually propel yourself during such moves. Is the basic idea. We don't really care for that as much as this character, as the base movement speed moves us very fast as it is. Also, yes, there is a Google Doc that has the movement of the game and has quite a lot to it. However, it does boil down to those very basic concepts that you just need to understand how to deal with. We'll go down this way, because I already started going this way. Could have gone the other way, though. It's fine. Few ways to get to where we're going. Also, with the ball, definitely allows us to be able to move much easier through certain areas when we activate it. Here can be annoying to jump in some places. This guy should be okay. I don't have virtual controller on, so I can't get a lot of those rolls that I would like. Then we want to be going into Shoreline now. With the yellow marks floating around, I'm not sure what you mean entirely. We have this little guy following us around. You can kind of see him appear in the corners sometimes. And he can point at things, kind of telling us what they are. Otherwise, because we are glowing and technically enlightened, we can see these things called void spawn here. They're just an interesting thing and point us towards what is normally the end of the game, but in our case doesn't matter nearly as much. I think it leads to shaded when we're here. I'm gonna activate the ball. It makes us move faster in water. That shelter is working again. Very cool. Isn't always working for every character. Hello, Daybreaker. Getting a little hit by the jetfish here. That's fine. And then we're going to be going down to submerged superstructures, which is one of the new areas of the game, specific for the Rivulet speedrun. For the Rivulet run, that is, in story. There's a new enemy down here called an aquapede. This is a centipede in water. Very scary man. Doesn't look like we'll be seeing him today. Is very good. We're going to be trying to go through the entire area of submerged superstructure in one cycle here without saving. Shouldn't be too bad. We've already saved in industrial as it is anyway. I need to not activate the ball nearly as often, but that's fine. Jetfish used to be very annoying because when they hit you, they used to make you actually drop things. In our case, that's not too much of an issue anymore. But now we'll be entering Moon's superstructure, where essentially, just like Pebbles, it's a giant superstructure, and in this case, hers fell into the ocean. And only Rivulet can save her. I believe this is the song Ascent that is going to be playing. I actually don't remember. This next swim can be a little sketchy. It's got an aquapede in the way. There he is. Very good. Please don't jetfish. Thank you. Seeing this makes you wish you did Spearmaster first. You still notice some rooms, but you do notice more rooms than not. So, Spearmaster, in terms of timeline, Spearmaster is the first in the timeline. You get to be in this area while it's still active and up. And so it's very interesting to play as Spearmaster than Riv or otherwise, and be able to notice rooms that were otherwise working before, but are no longer anymore. The G-Cone endurance safety saves. Yes and no. For the run, I'm gonna do it as a normal run as it is, but if it fails miserably, I'm gonna load a save to be able to actually finish. That doesn't matter though. That isn't really a problem at all. The run isn't that crazy, and the things that can happen are not that bad. At least comparative to other runs. And I've never had a run for Rain World go over time. I've been speedrunning this game for a very long time. Just submitted your Cloak Slug Cat. Amazing. I will look at the speedrun as I can. A lot of people have submitted. I went the wrong way again. That's a big jellyfish man. That's one of the new enemies that we saw there. Very scary. Don't want to go anywhere near. Right. This is a very cool room. A lot of kelp in the walls that can eat us. We don't want to go near the walls. Back here. This is one of the other rooms that you can see as Spearmaster. Except now we can go down. I don't want to press jump for speed because I won't get nearly as much distance. We're going to get air first because I don't trust the meter right now. Okay, we're on the last swim here. It's going to be a little while to the actual end. But we're entering the heart. Heart. We just need to activate the ball again, which becomes able to be activated when we enter. I keep trying to figure out a way so we can actually exit this room early on activation. I'm not sure what it is just yet, because it really does make you just fall in. But that'll be a good idea to look for later. That's just an idea. Now we just gotta sit here and basically watch a cutscene. But essentially now that we've turned the ball on in the heart, a lot of Moon's functions are gonna start working again. Well, you want to check the verify runs? You've got to, Pinna, you gotta message me. Say when. I can definitely do any time on the weekend. You just gotta let me know. Alright, we're getting tossed around a bit here, and then the thing that's not normal to this game is having a script to transport us from this room to this room, as normally you always have to go through a pipe, but also force it to be end of cycle, so we have to save here because we can't make it to the end in time. We're in the last stretch here though. I've eaten enough food to only need one more berry I can just grab on the way. Has anyone even tried yet? We haven't really tried making it. It's possible to make it to the gate, but I don't trust that you're going to survive the rest of the way. I wonder what would happen if you made it at the end of the cycle. Because look at that, we only got 3 dots. Each of those dots is 20 seconds. We're going to be a while till we actually get to the end, so that's why we always take this save. And then now we're just running the end. So now there is something very interesting that's never been part of the game before that we'll start noticing. As of right now. So we can start seeing our breath. Now normally aerobics is always something that exists, but a visualizer and snow is not. So seeing snow for the first time in this game, very special. We don't have time to stare at it though. But I found it to be a really good moment to see snow there. Ooh, this jump's a little weird, because circles are weird. Right, we're just gonna go maybe that way. I messed it up. No! Okay, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, no scavengers. Hopefully. Okay, we're good. There can be scavengers there, and they can be a bit of a nuisance. Otherwise, it was only that blue lizard that could have stopped us. Okay. Bit weird as Riv to do slides and stuff because we kind of get too much distance and can start hitting stuff before we get the actual burst of speed we want. Exiting the area now. This is a very interesting area we're going into. We're going back into Shoreline now from up top. Now, normally you can see this area from the other side and it's just like, huh, it's a gate we can't actually open at all. Knowing from Artie you need a citizen's ID to actually open it, which we can't actually get one for Moon City. We can come in from the other side and leave. Get to see some of the representations of the karma. But we just need to leave now. And actually get to Moon, and then time will be coming up in just a moment here. The in-game timer will stop. And that'll be the ranked time for it. My best time, I believe, is a 43, which, if we didn't have our deaths, that would have been roughly around the time we would have gotten. The 2 deaths we did have are pretty expected, but here we are. It's the ending credits sequence, essentially. Well, they're going to talk to us for a while. I'm going to hear a few things. But the run is over. I think it went pretty well. Obviously the deaths were not great, but those kinds of things happen, and it just comes with the game's run being new, and sometimes you see some things you haven't fully seen yet, but in the game just coming out essentially. And so now we're really starting up, batting down all of the optimizations and knowing what is going to be a problem and what places would be good to actually move. Hopefully my virtual controller doesn't crash to actually do a lot of things. But yeah, that is a good explanation of this run and a bit of the game. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing words. Now I eat Dorito. Mmm. Whoa. Starfish get to Snowland? No. Because it's Moon City, it's not the same idea. ID. Even if you were able to glitch in there, it wouldn't work. Did I just eat a spear? What? Ooh. What flavor Dorito? Spicy sweet chili. You gotta hydrate. Oh. The purple Dorito, yes. I just call them purple. They are the best ones. I think I talked about this earlier, but I don't know. I just needed to buy some stuff this week to eat. That was nice. But a few weeks ago, I bought the new Dorito. Dorito has now entered the modern era, also known as they finally made barbecue. Chasing Dorito? True. Alright. Scudding the junk. It feels better. Looks to the Dorito. No significant Dorito. They taste like 3 food. I'm very tired. Seven red Doritos. It's silver of Doritos. Not silver Doritos. Silver of Doritos. Doritos of silver? Doritos of straw? Bleeding Doritos. Doritos wind? Six cool ranches. It's sliver, yeah. Always read it both ways though. Hello, Captain Radiator. 5 Doritos, 5 large Doritos. Oh goodness. Doritos, 5 large Doritos. Inception pizza? You have tiny pizzas on top of the pizza. Mm. I feel like kinda Dorito line. Sodium. Hmm. Oh. Dorito world. Lizard flavor. Orange lizard. They got that orange powder. We knew it. We figured it out where it came from. Nachos will never be the same. Now made with Doritos. No. The Dorito lizard. What does the Dorito lizard do? What other run have you planned today? What run do you guys think is good? You think Outer Expanse is good? What do you guys think? Survivor, Outer Expanse? I'm not doing already. I can't do it. Spearmaster? I don't know. Survivor 100%? No, because they already said they don't want to do that. I could do Saint. I kind of want to do Saint on Saturday. I will do Saint, but we'll do it Saturday. Because that's an easier one for me to do. We need to do one that's easy and one that's hard. So now we need to do the one that's hard. I'm thinking we do Hunter all objectives. What do you guys think? It's a good Christian cat. Also, we're not doing it. I'm not doing Pain Cat. I've considered it. The any percent run is easy. It's so easy. It's literally the easiest thing ever. It's not really that easy, but it's actually not bad. It's legitimately a good run. Please don't show Pain Cat, but why? I don't want to submit that. If we're gonna do it, it's not bad. Look on speedrun.com. It's already approved. It's one of Timby's runs. It's the any percent for Pain Cat. It's really not bad. The do it coward. Wow. Alright, I'm gonna need everyone put channel points into the singing stream then. Right now. I promise I didn't cheat. No. How many people have runs right now? I've been trying to approve them as much as I can. There's 19 runs that need to be approved. Oh, oh, working on it. Okay, for that, I can't. I literally tried to. There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to, but I actually can't. Someone else you're doing cloak percent? I don't know. All right, I'm gonna be right back. And we're gonna do hunter all objectives. I think that'll be good. We'll do it with downpour on. Ran out of points. No more in eating pups. All right, I'll be back. Hello. Yeah. If you don't like the grapple worm, don't play Spearmaster. Also, you're basically playing Hunter. You are playing Hunter, except you can make spears anywhere. All right. You guys think we should do commentary for the Hunter run? Or we can't do it because we've got stuff going on in that one. Hmm. Should I do full commentary? What run is this? Why am I here? Actually, what run is this? I don't know. And skip everything in SM. So that's the problem. Actually get a squid cicada, and you tell me how easy it is to use it. Because it just lifts you in the air slightly just so you can't do a backflip to actually fly. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. Should we not do random colors? I think maybe we don't. Finish on cycle 1? Yeah. Behold. I don't know why the timer's messed up. I think this was imported, so it's all messed up. But this is still cycle 1. This is a Pebbles percent run. Alright. The commentary mode. You guys ready for commentary mode? I'm gonna shake that as a yes. All right, we are going to be doing a Hunter all objective speedrun, which essentially there's 3 objectives we need to complete for Hunter. We need to do them in order as well, otherwise we won't be able to do all of the actual we won't be able to actually complete all of the objectives. And so we're going to be going to one NPC, giving them a thing, and then going to the other, giving them a thing, and then we're going to be ending the game. We need to get a lot of things on the way so we can actually end the game correctly. Also, there's a lot of channel points for where it's happening, and I'm getting impaled with spears. But that's just how it is. We're playing Hunter, which is a hard character, or more like a roguelike character, because you only have a certain amount of cycles to actually complete what you're doing. However, we move so fast that that is not an issue. But because this is the hard mode, and there's a lot of harder enemies in the area, it'll be a little bit harder than, say, with Survivor or otherwise, but that's not too much of an issue for us. Something I just remembered. We're gonna do that again. Hello, Bugjoy. Oh. Where is it? This one. Also, so we can meme, I'm going to turn that back on. We're going to get that 1% chance. Thank you for channel points. Alright, we're doing it again. Hello, this is my run of Hunter All Objectives. We are going to be playing as Hunter, which is a hard mode character from the base game, but now in the DLC. Where essentially Hunter is like a roguelike character. We only have a certain amount of cycles or days to actually complete your run. However, we're going to be going so fast that is not even relevant. But this is the hard mode, so there's a lot of harder characters to actually... a lot of harder enemies that'll be in the way. And we're going to be going to, for all objectives, we're going to be going to one NPC and giving him something, going to another and giving him something, and then we're going to be beating the game. We're going to be getting things on the way so we can actually beat the game as well, and we'll talk about that as it happens. Also, there's going to be channel points happening because I'm streaming right now. And we're going. So for Hunter, we're going to be starting in Farmerays, which is not normally where you start. Hello, Crab Nicholson. I hope you're having a great day as well. Today's going better, I will say. We start with this green neuron in our hands, and the green neuron is very important. It's the item we're going to be bringing around to a few different areas. So we don't want to lose it. Okay, no problem. I need to remember to backflip there. It's been a while since I have done this run, but it's fine. My virtual controller crashed again. So for this game, there's a lot of different bits of movement. One of the main ones being the slide and jumping out of the slide, which is like this, where I have to do diagonal input and jump at the same time to start the slide, and then be able to press jump again to get out of it. And then from that, if I hold diagonal down, I can get into a roll, then jump out of the roll, and then chain that as much as we want. Works like a fighting game in a lot of ways. The movement isn't too crazy. If you really get into specifics, it can look like it's a lot, but at the end of the day, it slides, pounces, and rolls with the addition of certain things on top of that. Okay. I need to think about it for a second. We don't need to go here because it's not 100%. Okay. Also, I turned off... So now the pre-cycles can happen. And can you heat the green neuron? We're not gonna do that yet. But we're gonna put it in her stomach. Yes. Ooh. You want to turn our channel points off? No. Why would I even stream? Oh, one thing I did turn off was the emotes appearing on screen. They're gonna be a bit much water time. The children must be yeeted. True. Alright. We can't start till the pups leave. Hello. This is my Hunter all-objective speedrun of Rain World. We're going to be playing as the Hunter character, which is a hard mode character. Essentially, this is going to be like a roguelike for Rain World, where we only have a certain amount of cycles to actually beat the game. This is going to be a problem because we're going to be finishing the game very, very quickly. We're also going to be doing all objectives, which is 3 things, which is giving an item to one NPC, giving an item to a second NPC, and then finishing the game. We're going to be getting some things along the way so we can actually finish the game. It's also considered a glitches category, so we can't use karma caching. We'll talk about that a bit later. Otherwise, it's a hard mode, which means that there's harder enemies that appear. And yeah, alright, we're going to be starting the game at this point. Time starts when the circle fills, but also because this is now the DLC, we're going to be seeing some new things that don't normally appear on this run from base game. That, and there's now the in-game timer that we go by. Because this is Hunter, we're going to be starting with a green neuron in our hand, and that's the item we need to bring to the 2 NPCs. First thing you'll notice that's different from base game is that there's a new pipe in the bottom left. We don't really care about that though, as we are going to immediately be going to Sky Islands. My virtual controller has crashed again, but the normal keyboard inputs are just fine. This guy's in an okay spot. As Hunter, we eat meat, but otherwise, any character can also eat centipedes. For Rain World, we need to be able to eat enough in a cycle, which is donated by the pips in the bottom left, and then be able to save in a shelter to actually be able to save. This deer's in the way, that's fine. And so for now, we're going to be trying to get to the middle of Sky Islands, which is the region above us that we're going to. This is Hunter, right? Hello. Conzit, yes. Hello. I'm also streaming, which is why there'll be channel points rewards. I'm also recording a thing for people watching the stream. So that's why I'm kind of talking a bit strange. Whoa. That was interesting to see Iggy there. One of the NPC characters kind of watching us. Centipedes are a bit annoying in this area, but that one wasn't too bad. When it comes to this game, if anything hits you, you basically instantly die. These guys can electric shock you, but that wasn't too bad. I'll leave the spear in him because it doesn't matter that much. For Hunter, we can also have a spear on our back, and otherwise we eat meat, which basically means it's really hard to not be full at any given time. And once again, this is with the DLC on, which means we'll be seeing a lot of new creatures in slightly new areas. We're not going to go to new areas because it's still faster to do the same route. And we're entering Sky Islands. We start with the 3rd karma, which means that we can go through this gate, which requires 3 karma. If we save properly, our karma goes up. If we die, it goes down. And then we will or will not be able to go through different areas using these gates, depending on that. That won't be much of a problem for us, however. First, we're going to be going up here and getting our first echo. We need 3 echoes and meeting the NPC, the first NPC, to be able to actually be able to finish the game, which is ascending. Also, when I get to the shelter, I need to remember to turn my virtual controller back on. Movement for this game is very interesting, where essentially, if I simulate my keyboard to pretend to be a controller, I can add an extra button that allows it so I can do a very particular analog input that allows me to do another type of roll, which helps a lot in certain areas. Hello, Zero the Thinker. We're doing a commentary run that I want to submit to things, and I'm just kind of talking overly, so if there's questions, now would be a good time to ask. There's a vulture here. Not too much of a problem, though. I wish I had my second spear, though, because this area might be weird without a spear. Orange lizards. They work as a pack, but individually are not too crazy. Otherwise, karma on the base level of the game, that's unexpected. Ooh, hit the neuron. On the base level of the game, karma allows you to ascend if you bring it high enough, which is what we're going to be doing, but essentially just goes up when you survive or down when you die. This guy licked the rock out of my hands. But basic combat is you hit guy with the rock, he flips over, you can then stab him. Get this other guy. This room likes to load as you're walking through it, which is why both of these lizards came through at the same time. That's just how that goes. A little annoying they appeared because they don't often come here. So when it comes to creatures, they always spawn the same relatively. They'll always be the same area, but their movement can change drastically. Depending on their personality and just what they randomly choose as well. Hello, CO ISO. And then we've made it to our first save here. And then as Hunter, normally for other characters you have to meet an echo, go to its location, and then go back to it. So hello comes it, if I didn't already say that. Oh. But for Hunter, we don't need to do that. We're also going to start going to this echo, which isn't too bad. Creature placement seems more variable with downpour for me. Because loading is different, creature movement is much different. I'm sure that makes enough sense. Now with the DLC coming out. So normally karma caching would involve us quitting out here to keep this extra karma. But we don't want to do this because it's a glitchless category. And otherwise, I'm going down to see the echo. I need to put this neuron in my stomach when I get the chance. But essentially we can put a small item into our stomach as a secret pocket. How is loading different? It's a bit more aggressive. Oh, I fell asleep because we're starving. We'll have to wait a second. Moved a bit too fast there. It's a bit more aggressive and it'll be able to load things faster and have more things active. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It's basically an updated version of Unity as far as we care. So now we're here, wait for dialogue, and then go off the screen, and then it'll bring us back. So now these echoes bring up our maximum karma, which will be quite useful for if we die accidentally in some place or another. This place is also really nice because it sent us to our last save, so that means we actually need to save every once in a while compared to the other runs where we don't actually have to save. So this makes this run very chill in a lot of ways. But if you do die, it isn't too bad, at least compared to the other runs. Of course, when you're really going for it, it is going to be bad. Also movement, back to movement. Base movement, you can kind of do diagonal downwards and jump. I'm messing it up here, that's fine. We'll just show it for a second. Diagonal downwards and jump. Specific timing that I'm gonna miss multiple times to be able to do a slide. You can then jump out of it, slide, do a leap, and then otherwise be able to chain that into rolls and be able to do whatever you want. These oranges just did not see me. These jumps are very difficult, so I need to make sure I do them correctly. Backflips into rolls help really nice for getting height. And we're going to use one of our spears for right here. Centipede won't bother us as long as we're not around them for too long. I'm going to take out my spear off my back, though. Hunter wall, no mask. Alright. That is going to be a thing we're going to be worrying about, is that we're going to a place called the wall soon. And we want to make sure we have a mask if we can. I didn't hit that guy, apparently. That's fine. So, with this game... We'll just put it on my stomach so I don't have to deal with it. With this game, with the screen transitions can be very annoying, especially with characters and enemies that don't actually move, like the camouflage lizards, like in that situation. The only real place that's going to be annoying is while we're here and in the wall, however. So I'm not too scared about it. We get to restart and just do it right back again. Now, one thing we do need to do, which I should have did before, but now we get to do it again, is we do need to eat. So we need to kill one of these orange lizards to actually eat. So we can save when we get the chimney here in just a bit. Just move that guy out of the way. Is there anything new in the hunter route? Not really. We might see new creatures, however.
They're here. This is bad.
Whoa, thank you for the follow, Viking mods. We're doing a commentary run of this right now. That was a little annoying. It gets stuck in his body. We needed to make sure we didn't go too crazy. Thank you for the follow, One Goo 2. I don't know why it didn't show up. Hello. Like the scene with Indiana Jones? I suppose so. I really didn't want to throw it. But I didn't have a option otherwise. This guy's a little overstimulated. He's got a lot of things on his mind. But that's fine. We got Cavelia playing, which is the song right now. Fan favorite, of course. Very sketchy jump, but that block is invisible. As long as we throw something, it's fine. I want that stick back, thank you. Alright. Right now we're just making sure we're getting to chimney canopy. There's a few things I'm watching out for, which is why I don't really say anything at certain times. Vulture there, not too much of a threat. If you hit them twice, they run away, and otherwise you can interrupt them at certain areas during their attacks, as they're very predictable, although they can seem very scary given their size and the fact that they can fly. Alright, we're making it to chimney canopy now. And so now we need to talk a little about the lore of this game. Essentially, we've got 5 pebbles. He tried to do something really crazy. We won't really go into much. But essentially, it accidentally destroyed his neighbor, which normally these giant robotic creatures. Pebbles is a giant robot, by the way. He did something that made his neighbor slowly get destroyed because of not having a lot of water, and now we've got to go save her. But first we're going to go see Pebbles, of course, and he's got some problems that we can help with the item that we have. Ooh, one of these guys fell down. Very nice. So because there's an echo nearby, it causes things to fall asleep in the area. So sometimes vultures will fall down. We always kind of envisioned a vulture falling down in this room and then killing someone during a run, but it has yet to actually happen. I'd love to see it happen, though. Not too bad to actually die here, as it's right at the beginning. Alright, we're just climbing up here. So the idea of what these echoes are is, before us, there was the Ancients. And the Ancients made the giant superstructure robots that are 5 levels in Moon, which are the 2 NPCs we're going to meet. And the Ancients found a way to ascend and leave the cycles, essentially. And essentially it's just basically us being reincarnated over and over again to forever live in the world. And they figured out a way out. By raising our karma, we can be able to do that as well. By meeting them, they can raise our maximum karma. We've gotten 2 of the 3 requirements we need. That was an accident. That's cool. And so we're going to be getting the others a bit soon here to raise our karma all the way. But now we're going to meet Pebbles. After we go across here and up to the wall. This part is nice that we get to save where we do, as king vultures can come down. Now, king vultures are much more scary than the normal vulture, due to that they can fire their tusks. And kill you from range, which makes it a lot harder to actually deal with them and interrupt them than with normal vultures. That and they're much larger, and it'll be much more aggressive otherwise. We'll be entering into the wall now. This area can be a little annoying for a few reasons. Can you not get a mask from that vulture that fell? Because we're hitting the echo, we don't keep anything from that. I could have killed it, then ate it, then saved again. I'm not a big fan of purposely going out of the way to keep a mask. If one falls into my lap, I'm going to take it. Essentially what happens is each vulture has a mask attached to their face. If you hit their mask, your spear will just bounce off. If you kill them or hit them on the side of the head, the mask will come off and you can carry it around and scare lizards, which is super useful here and a little bit. However, I don't like to push trying to get one. So, I'm very used to doing this without one. I was hoping we would run by one in that past room, but things happen. Alright. So one thing about this game you'll notice is, well, one, this is the DLC. So, a lot of places are still the same. We're playing a base game character. We're not going to see too much different. A lot of the performance of the game and otherwise the in-game timer is very cool, along with a lot of other small changes, like the loading changes, like how that guy was actually able to go through that room, where normally you wouldn't actually be able to do that. Because this takes usually a really long time to load, but we went through it immediately. Very cool. I have a timer going off, that's fine. Alright, we're going to be going up the outside. This guy's a little in the way. Okay, doing good. I'm going to wait a little bit. Hello, Ferncroft. Thank you. I made it myself, along with all the channel points rewards that you can check out. So this is the point of why having a mask can be very useful here, is the fact that there's so many in the way. I ate the egg already. There it is. So these guys can jump around. Originally only native to Hunter, now exists for the other characters too. Guy won't be bothering us again. I'm gonna go up the skip way, even though it's not worth it at this point. Just because I want to show it off. However, we died to that guy. Whenever anyone actually bites us, there is a chance you die. It's around 30%. instead of actually just getting grabbed. I'm surprised he got us at that range, but that's fine. We get to do it again. And I should have just went the other way at that point, but that's how it goes. I want to show off the wall skip, because it's very interesting to show off. Six stack happening. It's 13 that gets sent in that channel points redeem. Okay, just want to make sure my spacing is good so I can make that. And then back throws. Basically do a slide instead of jumping out. You throw something behind you. Also, we're doing commentary right now, or a run, just so you guys know. Going back to the wall. It's not too much of a problem that we die. We're going to have proper amount of extra estimate time for these things. These things are very common. I don't expect it to be too much of a problem, as generally I'm going to do the hardest and fastest thing the first time, and then we can do it the chill way that's very safe the second time. Alright. Wall pounce. I accidentally do that a few times. Basically just doing a roll into a wall, just high speed into a wall, and then pressing jump at a particular time. Yes, we climb the wall, and then we're going to meet pebbles. A lot of things are different from base game. Is if you start noticing steam coming out of certain things in the background, that's not a normal thing that happens. Most useful wall pounce. There's actually a very useful one in Chimney. For Riv, specifically, that I did at one point. More things to eat, yes. Don't trust that guy to the right. Okay, these guys like to be around now, don't they? He doesn't know. He might know. Alright, we'll do the wall skip. We're not gonna do the wall skip. Alright, let's just wait a little bit, shall we? They're not too much of a threat on their own, but when there's a lot, or you're in a spot like me trying to climb up the right there, it can be a little annoying. I really like doing that skip instead of going over here, just because it's much faster. That's unfortunate, that went in a wall. We can use spears and walls to gain height, very useful. But we can't use it on these guys now that it's in a wall. 2 white lizards. I'm very used to not having anything to throw, however. So that's fine. There's a king vulture above me. We're gonna go back down now. It's not worth our time. Now we have spears. Do it again. That king vulture probably at least scared away the others. So we'll have a bit of more space. Otherwise, I'm just making sure the camel lizards don't catch up to me. I don't know what happened to that poor man. That's fine. That is 2 of 3 dead. That king vulture harpooned one of the white lizards, if you didn't see that off to the left of the screen a second ago.
A lot of bat flies. Bat flies aren't useful for us, given that how we eat large meat now, instead of small bats like we would with other characters, making really only lizards a good source of food. And popcorn. We're just going to care about the popcorn for now. There's pole plants here. Basically means a fake pole that if we grab, we die. We can just jump past them, not too much of a problem. There is a white lizard that we don't know. I'm going to check this transition, don't hear anything. All good. But this game has a lot of different audio cues that I definitely watch out for. We make sure where certain enemies are. The ones that stand still are the ones that are scary because you can't tell where they are really. There's still a white lizard missing. Something might have happened to him. He could be right here. Don't see anything. I've never seen one in other places before. So I'll just keep going. At this point, we're all good for creatures. And we're going to be finishing up the top of the wall. We start seeing a big view, seeing there's a bunch of these others giant iterator cans with cities on top of them. Really gives you perspective how big this world actually is and what's actually happening. See the green flash underneath the giant robot superstructure in the back as well. Now, a very particular thing we can do here is be able to do that specific roll so we can stab the wall so we can get up here. Normally you'd need 2 spears or you just wouldn't be able to do that. You could throw one down and then one to the wall. Alright, now we're at the top. Get to see the sights of the city in the distance. For another campaign we actually go there, but not today. It's at the can city. Well, we're on what is technically called an iterator can, just the entire structure. I think my spear glitched out. Haven't seen that one. Now we're entering into 5 Pebbles, the region, which is this whole area. And then 5 Pebbles, the character we're going to meet in just a second. You'll know when we see him. He'll talk to us about a few things. Well, it's the break of the run. We also get to walk by the meaning of each of the karmas in just a second. Now for this slug cat, well, now we get to see the visualizations of the karmas. With the top one, 4th one, 3rd one, and so on. But for this slug cat, essentially compared to the base slug cat, we move a bit faster, we hit a bit harder, we got a spear in our back. Comparative to the DLC cats, it can feel very limited, but in limitation we can find very, very interesting movement. Don't just have static more movement speed or press button to move faster like some of the other cats. Now he's gonna take the neuron out of our stomach because he likes to do that very aggressively. Now he's gonna see what we have. He's gonna find a slag key reset, which he needs some to actually help his problem that's happening where he has the rot currently. Otherwise, we're going to be going over to Moon and giving the rest of the things in our package here to Moon to actually fix her right back up. For now, this is the break. Next, we're going to be going right back from where we came. Looks like we're going to go down the chimney canopy and into industrial. And then we're going to be going into shaded, where we're going to get the last echo we need. And then we're going to be in a shoreline, which is where moon is. And we're going to go to a sub, which is the final area of the game. So now, one of the things that the ancients, those guys that are now the echoes, they raise our karma when we see them. Pebbles here is also created so he could universally increase the karma of every living creature in the area. Looks like they're trying to figure that out, of course, and they weren't very successful, whether for anyone else or really themselves. But he can help a bit, and he adds cycles to our roguelike that we are not playing currently, because we're going to beat the game before any time those cycles actually matter. And then give me my neuron pebbles. Thank you. I missed my jump, and we're slow floating. That's fine. Right. Do not want to put that neuron in my stomach while we are in the same room. That causes a glitch to happen, which this is glitchless. We don't want that to happen. Essentially, we can actually duplicate this neuron and ourselves to gain speed, but only for one cycle. Very useful and very cool looking, but not today. Also, yes, we're not going to be going anywhere in the underhang or memory crypts, which is normally an area that you would have to go to, but not for here. Also, because we've spent so long in this cycle, it's actually raining outside now, but because we're so high up, it doesn't affect us, but it is nighttime, which means it's much darker in here on the way back up. Very cool to see this like this, because normally in base game this doesn't happen. It doesn't actually become darker. It's just always sunny outside. Now we get to see things how they would look when they are much darker. True for a lot of areas, really. Otherwise, it's just rain that happens. Probably didn't need to do that in that order. That's fine. We need to get the popcorn from here so we can save. Popcorn is basically infinite food, but if we use it, it won't be there next cycle. We have popcorn now. We need to eat lizards next time. We'll get actual amounts of food. So we only need to eat enough food to the bar. Any extra is kept for next cycle. We have a few more cycles we need to actually rest. And then before we actually finish the game. So we need to prepare to make it easier for the other cycles. Alright, so now getting a little bit of lore. Essentially, Pebbles tried to cross himself out or ascend or make himself become like the iterators are and leave the world as it is. However, they're not meant to be able to do that, and so it didn't work out, and all the computation messed him up so badly that it created the rot, which is slowly eating him on the inside. We don't get to see it in this case. Messed up a little bit of movement. Hard to time those things sometimes in those little ramped areas. And at the same time, he doomed his neighbor, Looks to the Moon, because he used so much water in the area that they weren't able to vent their heating with it in time. And so Looks to the Moon completely crashed. Their whole iterator can fell into the water, and they completely broke otherwise. And so we're trying to essentially revive her, while Pebbles is slowly being eaten alive on the inside. Low Obsidian Mage. Whoa. We're doing commentary. If you have questions, I'd love to say things. Ooh, my keyboard kept continuing that input there. Weird. Nice commentary. Hello, Car Space. Also, we're not getting that echo even though we pass right by it, because it's actually slower to get that one comparative to the shaded one. That guy's a little concerning. Going down the wall is also pretty scary, but otherwise we're moving pretty far. We're getting the shaded echo, not the farmer raised one. There are 6 echoes. We only need 3 because we met Pebbles, and he also ups our karma by 1 level too. Probably should have ate one of them. That's fine. Just leaving is good. Range and depths in this route? No, we go to shoreline and then sub. We don't have to go anywhere near that. We still need to go to moon right now. Literally crashed my computer. Yes. Moon, the computer crashed. Alright, heading back in the chimney. This is technically the hardest cycle in this run because we're going all the way down into industrial and then shaded. It's generally not too bad because we're falling down. As long as we don't get stunned too many places, it isn't too bad. I'm going to try to relaunch Virtual Controller before I forget so I can actually have that extra bit of movement I want. Perfect. So now I'll be able to roll here, now that the Virtual Controller is on, if I press the space bar, which allows me to do a different type of roll that is useful in certain situations. This jump is weird, so I like to do a normal pounce, which is just you holding jump while on the all fours state. I'm going to jump up here too. This guy is up there. He's scared of falling down, so he doesn't just immediately drop on us. It's weird to see that guy there. It's not very common. But he's not much of a threat. We can fall down the middle. 1, 2, 3. Here. Next room loads. There's a bomb there. That's scary. Okay, those are scavengers. They're basically like to you. They can also use spears. And as Hunter, they don't like you too much. So they can be a little scary. But as long as we avoid them, it's not too bad. I'm not going to do anything too crazy. Weird to see that guy do that. Alright. So there's a feature in this game where you can feed lizards dead bodies of other creatures that they actually want to eat. And they will become your friends. So if I throw the body there, he went for the body in that case instead of me. Because Hunter hits a little harder, it means the creatures will actually die on 2 spears. Don't really care about dealing with that guy right now. Hello, Silica. Does Hunter start with negative rep? So Hunter starts with 20 to 30 negative rep? I forget exactly. Yes. Also, we saw from those scavengers, there was one with a vulture mask, which is a new type of scavenger that can jump and have electric spears, which that one did have electric spears. We don't really care about that much. Nothing likes you immediately with Hunter, no. 1 pearl does the trick, though. Yes. That'd be funny if that scav spawned with the Singularity Bomb. There's basically a really rare chance for one of those crazy scavs to spawn with a portable nuke. Because, of course they can. And I love that, personally. Okay, chimney and industrial went pretty well. Shaded's pretty chill as well. We're going to check the timer in the gate to make sure I can make it all the way to the next shelter. I want that spear compared to actually getting speed. How am I getting a threat theme? Did I kill that scav from off screen? Why was he there by himself? That was interesting. Holding one spear and pouncing with a pick up a third. You mean a second in your hand? You have to show it though. That room can be scary for scavs depending on what happens. We can give them stuff or fight them essentially. Are you sure that's how that works, CSISO though? I'm pretty sure you can only have 2 at any given time. Just you can glitch it so you can have 2 in your hand instead. Which is, I don't know why you want that. Alright, Shaded Citadel. This is underneath 5 Pebbles, which is why it's shaded. Quite an interesting area. Has spiders in it. We're not going to see them too much. Also, you'll notice in the background, there's actually another layer of detail to the game. It's not always there. There's one of the spiders. What a nice man. I don't find the spiders in this game to be too scary. But I understand people don't like them too much. Checking on the timer. I didn't check on it. That's fine. It's going to be real dark here in a second. Because this is a downpour thing, the green neuron glow in my stomach, we can slightly see around us a bit more. But otherwise, it's going to be pretty dark. Normally you would eat a neuron from 5 Pebbles, but we don't need to see. Eating a neuron from 5 Pebbles basically means it so that we can actually glow ourselves, and then we can see in this area. One of the only actual upgrades you get in this area. I'm gonna throw a flashbang in a second. It's gonna be really blue. PTSD from going through Shaded as Hunter. I don't understand why. There's very little creatures here. There's very little reason to come here. Outside of the Echo. But not a lot of threat. Gotta make sure that the piled up spiders here don't get me. Essentially, there's a bunch of small spiders I can pile up to a larger spider. And if they're getting aggroed by that lantern mice here, they can kill anything that runs into them, which can happen. Especially after seeing the clown mod DLL. Yes. Clown mod. Very powerful. Alright, save here. And then we're gonna get the Echo, and then we're gonna go to Shoreline. Ooh, alright. We'll sit up here a little bit. Good posture. Alright, this is our last Echo. We're going to change from Mercedes-Benz to an actual X for Karma. The symbol for the Karma is the thing that shows up in the bottom left. It's not going to show up right now. When I'm playing this game, there's always threats. The lantern mice are very threatening, I will say. Ooh. See the Echo, say hello, leave immediately. Says, you have no name. We don't like that, so we're just gonna leave. Alright. So now we're gonna go over to Moon. So now Moon's in a really bad shape. When we give her this green neuron, she's going to revive. However, we don't need to stay around for the whole cutscene. Because we've got other things to do. So we're going to give her the neuron. When it starts heading down towards her, and then we hear a pang, then we can leave. And that gets our requirement for actually helping out Moon. Ooh. Maybe I didn't need to throw that. So this is Shaded Bridge, the area with deceiving geometry that more people have died to than they would like to admit. So it's always a little awkward, and you want to make sure you do it right, even though it's like not too bad. I'm trying hard with these rolls. The orbs are a little hard to actually move around. It's me, I die there. Shaded Bridge. Okay. Most embarrassing deaths in the game right there. It's not like too bad, but it's like, oh, I have to think about it. Thinking isn't allowed in this game. Alright, Shoreline. We're gonna be Aquatic Land now. For a game called Rain World, we sure haven't seen a lot of water. And here's where it is. Swimming actually isn't too bad, but you don't want to be doing it too much, of course. So we'll see a meter in the bottom in white. That'll be our breath. This is one of the new things from the DLC. I think it's very useful for people understanding how to swim. Major thing about how to swim, never press jump underwater. Just don't do it. Do a snaking motion underwater as well. Don't grind your face off the ceiling either. Now that swimming has been changed, you no longer naturally float up. There is a new mechanic where you can now swim upwards a bit faster. Jetfish, you can grab them and they help you move around a bit faster in water. Very, very useful. We're going to be trying to keep one with us for quite a while. We're going to leave it off in this room over here first. And we're going to hope he doesn't clip out of bounds because they like to do that. Think about learning the crazy jetfish thing just for here? Nope. So there is a kind of glitch exploit that we will allow in this speedrun. That is you throwing and re-grabbing the jetfish repeatedly. That jellyfish shocked me, made me drop him. That's fine, even though I'd rather have not have. Don't want to be going backwards in pipes because you move a bit slower. And combo boosts in if you know what you're doing. But that crazy movement where you just constantly throw and grab and re-grab makes it so you can actually fly in the air. I forgot that Hunter now has scavengers in Looks to the Moon. This is a new thing and is actually a little scary. Okay, it's fine. They went and moved on with their lives. It's weird to see them here though, because they're not normally here. Those guys can be a threat. But that's fine. They're behind us now. I haven't eaten food, so if they get in my way, they're going to be a good source of food. Get this neuron out of my stomach. We want to wait till it actually goes down, which it'll do right then. You can see it's a very sharp movement. If we move off screen, it's not too bad. Why they only exist here on Hunter? It's for most of the slug cats now. It used to not be true at all. That scavengers would be there. Wallaby. Don't want to jump down till I know he's not there. They always gave 4? Interesting. Eat some jellyfish because they count as meat. And then we'll be able to save in just a second. We're gonna get the music from Moon now. That signifies that she's definitely been revived. Okay, I need to eat this, then we're gonna pick up that jetfish again. Revive Moon, run away. Alright. So this next room can be scary. It could have been scary on the way in. But there's going to be a Leviathan that comes from off-screen down below us. There he is. Very scary guy. I guess Artie cannot come to there. As Hunter, because we're stronger, we can carry these guys up poles, so we're going to, because we want him for later. Save Iterator's life with slag keys. Refuse to elaborate. Leave. Yes, I have places to be. We're gonna save here? I think we save here. It'll be better if we save here. We can either save here or in Subterranean. I think it would be better if we save now. Got some good progress. Alright. Gonna do some jetfish stuff. So one fun thing about the jetfish is, which is especially why we're bringing it going forward, even though it makes it faster for these rooms too, is that when in Subterranean and we're on land and we slide with them, as such, actually gives us extra momentum and sends us pretty far. The song playing right now is The Captain, another fan favorite song. Let's make sure I do this climb good. Top of this is the shoreline tower that people know for having the pearl on top of it. It's very difficult to actually get to. It's a very special swim that people don't normally notice. Helps a lot in our case. I don't want to go this way. I don't know what I was thinking. We need to go this way. Snails, worst enemy. Can just stun you because they want to. I want that jetfish. Okay, maybe we get the next jetfish. You've served your purpose. Okay, we're gonna do the sketchy swim now. Sure, I'm full of air. This swim is very difficult, and it can have snails in it. Make it even worse. We made it. There's usually jetfish swimming through this room, but they kind of do whatever they want. And are probably to our left right now. Yep, there's both of them, because of course they are. And the third one that's in this room. Jetfish is dead because the other one killed it. Cool. My favorite. Every time a jetfish hits something, actually damage it slightly. Which is why jetfish can actually kill each other that way. Makes it so they can actually stun you as well, even though you don't actually take damage. Because you either are dead or you are alive. Alright, jetfish doesn't need to be alive at this point, but essentially just its body allows us to slide with it and gain a lot of distance and height and speed that we otherwise normally wouldn't be able to without holding it when sliding. So we're going to use that to our advantage as we make our way to the end of the game. End of the game won't be for a bit here. If I get food, doesn't look like there's good food in the area. Get that spear on my back, just in case. Can be kelp in the way, but we move so fast, it's not an issue. Do not hit me with a rock. Okay. Does not have a spear, I'm not too worried about him. Scavengers can be wherever they want. It's kind of funny, it's almost like the scavenger fed the centipede to the... Okay, this is sketchy. Fight the drop wig. Not me. You've had your chance. Alright. I want my fish friend back, thank you. A little bit of a sketchy situation there. Drop wigs drop from the ceiling, of course. There's another one right here. Fell into the pit, which is unfortunate. We got back out. Very good. Drop wig there. Keeps getting stunned by the jetfish attack. Carrying the body works out very well for actually being able to have it get hit by the creatures instead. We're going to be falling into Miro spurts here in a second. This is why we like to save and sub too, but I didn't want to worry about it too much. This area can be very sketchy. One thing that we are going to run into here is it's actually going to be a bit longer than we can actually get to the end than usual. Oh, I don't have this. That's too bad. It's a arena unlock there for Safari. It's a mother spider, one of the new spiders. Well, the new spider. Right. Drop the jetfish at this point. It's not really worth our time, because we're now going to be in the tunnels of filtration system. I'm thinking it might be better to go around the long way instead of going this way, as a lot of rooms have been added to filtration. Where can I post? You can post it in the meta and tech channel or somewhere and ping me about it. I think you should be able to post here, though. I can try doing it myself in a second. So this is the new area of the game. Pole plant. Let me make sure I remember how to get to where I need to go here. How does that connect again? Yes. Centipede in the darkness? Not a good thing to hear. About to be end cycle here, so that's a little scary. Especially when we're in an area I'm not too familiar with. Now this is a new area. However, we are close enough. Area is filling with water. A bit earlier than I would like. I don't know if I should go up or keep going left here. As long as we make it through here, we'll be fine. Which we are not fine. Which is really unfortunate. Oh, that's unfortunate. Right at the end, too. It's right there. I'm surprised that cycle was that bad. How do we get to do it again? It starts raining really early, too. It's because we're underground. Cycle actually matters in run. Wow. Alright, we'll do it again. Now we know exactly where to go anyway. Alright, you guys are annoying. They angry you're taking the one jetfish like that? They don't really react like that. They more just go towards creatures. Alright. Going up here again. Come on. Come on. Unhappy climbing. Usually you're able to go through fast, but not today. We're there now. Why did you go back in here? I just wanted the spear on my back. Alright. Didn't grab him. Didn't grab him again. We're just gonna go now. They don't move around as much, but it's very annoying. Okay. Pretty sure the swimming leniency actually saved me there to give me a little bit more movement on full drown. That's why that option is very good. It's a new option in a remix. Allows a little bit of leniency on drowning. Why you gotta be there? Why? Alright. How we get to go again? He killed my jetfish again! Except in a really annoying spot. I guess we're not taking a jetfish to sub. I'm not going back. Oh, now you come over here. Alright. You see this game? Loves to torch you. Now we get to do subterranean a bit more safe. Just because we can actually kill things. I'm also probably going to save here. Just because now we can do it a little bit more consistent. No more chance for rain to kill us on time. Now that the so much more area to go through. The centipede grabbed me. Centipede pipe protected everyone. Oh no! Well, this is unfortunate. I've never seen that one. That's a new one. Centipede gets past scavengers to go there. Surprised it grabbed me too. Say the line. Rain world. But otherwise, I would have died the moment I go back into the pipe while it's grabbing me. What happened? I just got back. Essentially, the centipede grabbed me while going into a pipe. And because of centipede pipe protection, I didn't instantly die like you normally would. But it pushed me out of the way of the pipe, and it could only re-grab me again and then kill me. Which isn't something that really happens. %20 chance to live instead of 0. Yes. Alright, let's go back through here again. We're gonna get that popcorn this time, however, and save. We're going to take our time with actually going in there. Usually it hasn't been an issue, that transition, but that usually you die instantly to scavengers, not centipedes. So it's a little surprising to have seen a centipede there and actually do anything. Usually this works quite well. Just jump here. Loading change time to those bound anymore? Yes. And with kill squad protection, it's also much better. What should change? The loading's just more... It's just better. Like before, it would take a really long time to load this next one. This next room. Now, it loads just fine. Do not clip out of bounds. Did he instantly clip out of bounds? I can't believe he did that after all we went through. Alright. It has worked out well enough that we got food. Oh, that cycle timer definitely wouldn't have worked. Alright, I need to think about that in the future. The cycle timer here can be really bad. The game would freeze right before you go into this room. And make it so that you immediately come out and then you're surrounded by scavengers and you have an instant to react or you die. Which doesn't really happen.
The horror. The horror.
Oh, hello, Gale guy. Gale's Whimdy Raid. Hello. Hello, Icy Fire Mage. Hello, how was stream? What did you stream today? Also, hello everyone from Gale Guy's Raid. I am a Rainworld speedrunner. I've been speedrunning this game for a long time. And we're doing the Hunter All Objectives run right now. And I'm trying to record some things for Games Done Quick submissions. If possible. And yeah, Scale Guy has also streamed Rainworld along with a lot of other games. I've been able to catch him on every once in a while. And has been around the Rainworld community for quite a while. People also don't know, I also did QA for Downpour, the DLC here. And I also do 3D modeling, hence the VTuber model here. And all of the throwables. Dead Cells today. 1 BC for the gaming. I don't know what that means. I barely know what a Dead Cells is. 1 boss cell. Okay. This is just because I hate centipedes. Not because it's faster. I don't really understand Dead Cells. I played it a bit. Seemed like a good game. There's just a lot going on, I will say. And I don't know what's happening. But yes, I hope stream was good. Senny's auto die in shelter now? Yes. Pretty much everything will always get stunned in shelters. And then certain enemies will now auto die. And specifically the Red Senny patch. Where before Red Sennies wouldn't get stunned or die in shelters. And so every time you'd wake up and instantly die if there was a Red Senny in your shelter. No longer happens. Dead Cells is a Dark Souls meets roguelike 2D Souls. Hard but fun though. I have played it. I just don't understand. I guess the way to put it. Molar? Because I beat one boss. I got a boss cell, I guess is the better way to put it. And then it got much more difficult. And there was so many upgrades I didn't have. I could barely beat that boss. That final, even get to him. New filtration was more exciting now. Yes. But the 120, 115 estimate, still very good. I think, for this run. We're approaching the end now. If I do this one more time, I think we'll get a really good setup.
They're here. This is bad.
I think for the follow-along gun. 2 cells at the moment, playing 1. So I like it more. Definitely feels like it would be good. It goes to 6. Just doing 1 was a lot for me at the time. Because it changes how healing works too. At least the amount of potions you get back. Healing does not exist. Does feel like upgrading your potion thing matters a lot. Alright, we're in depths. See Big X? Big X is scary. Big X attacks you. Never mind. It's actually just making us so we're actually at our maximum karma. Because ahead of us, if we're not at our maximum karma, the Guardians is really unhappy. Hello, Nico Messiah. Very nice name. Remember, it doesn't count if you didn't save Moon. What do you mean? What do you mean? We're doing all objective speedrun. So yes, we already did that. It actually doesn't count though, if we didn't do that. Water time. Hello, Intrepid. But I'm at the end. We can't water time yet. But now we're at depths. To better explain it. All the past civilizations that figured out they could ascend by going here. This is one of their places. And so you go deeper and deeper. Until you finally meet the Guardians. Hello there. Very interesting men's that throw you away if you don't have the right amount of time. The big X on their face. He can still play with the box on them. I'd like to see this myself. Did really bad at the game. Well, when it comes to Hunter, it's all about planning. And just doing what you're comfortable with. But for now that we're in depths, it's all just going to the right. Doing as much as we can to gain little bits of speed off of little rolls and jumps and throwing things that we find on the ground. Void Sea is a thing, but we're also don't care about the extra timing it adds. Red. I think an estimate for this one, 120. Is my estimate. Where's the timer stop? When we have when we get to the screen where the camera follows you, the timer stops. And that is the traditional well, I guess the new, but now it's old timing method, was to always go to there. Because no one wants to do the actual swim. Now that we've made it all the way down here. Slowly getting a drugged effect. Everything actually is a bit slower. And we slowly get risen up a bit, allowing us to do certain rolls we wouldn't normally be able to. You can jump off flat ground and do the fast roll and be able to actually do it. Seems safe enough? Yes. 120 is a very good time, because we got to mess around with everything, and we still got here. I wanted to say 115, but I've been proven wrong today. Wally Prime. Wow. Which one's the real one? Alright, we've made it to the end. The Void Sea. Now is time for escaping. It ends really on the full swim, but we only care for bottom of disc transition. Breathing no longer matters here. And this is time. Depending on how early we finish it, given all the issues that we had from me not doing this run over a long time, and it being some new areas, we might do the full swim. But for this run, let's stop here. Still gonna do this full swim because we have to show it off. Also, yes, this showed the run off a bit. I do kind of want to do this again. A lot more going in the future. I like it with downpour on. I'm gonna drink water now. Crashing your game and you have to go all the way back there. I've never noticed anyone having that issue. Yes, the void hurts. No one knew what was in the void. And now we do. The computer's bad. So for the swimming here, we can do a snaking motion and then time jumps at specific times to get full speed. Stop talking to yourself. Have you tried Skill Tissue? Now available. Walmart. Walmart. Is that Aerosio? Ugh, you need to post the eyes too. It's not right by itself. Ugh. Stop doing this. Okay. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's probably active. 7. Mostly active. It's on 7. I wasn't sure if I missed one. I should watch more Noida. Seems good. I'm gonna turn the game down a bit. But also super hard to understand anything. And I don't know if I should ask people for things. No, I just got updates after 2 years. Why did I get an update? What about Noida? Cinder Dragon? Elias Bot, man? Well, fix it later. I was told they added a new creature. Cinder. Very important. No one knows what it is. It's not a game where you're gonna find out everything on your own. I don't know how much to ask though, because there's the point where you kind of like don't want to know, but at the same time, if you don't know, you can't do anything. I lost the alchemist. I don't know what that means. Another update today, but I'm not aware. I've only heard of one, but who knows? Do the main thing, then to start asking questions. I already did the main thing. And I did it again, went all the way back up, went to the secret lab, and died horribly. His health didn't move. You claimed your crown? Oh no. Are you okay? Do you need help? I don't know how long that is. I've been told not every secret's been found. In that game. Alright, finishing up the game here. Full time ends when we hit the orb. Some bottom uses some damage. I mean, that makes sense because of resistances. You need to do certain things. Apparently, how many orbs you have matter. No way to know without trial and error. Exactly. Cauldron Eyes secret. What does that mean? Also, I like how in-game there's a thing that's like... knowledge is the true power, don't let them know. What? Something like that. Pain Cat speedruns? I think I'm gonna stop. I'm very tired. It's been a week. And there's still tomorrow. Gee, game. Only game. They do have the new cutscenes. It's here, guys. How many years? How many years has it been? Parody. We did it, guys. We acquired orb. Is that an SH? Yes, it is. If it's not an SH, I don't think anyone knows. It's totally an SH, though. Think you can beat the Secret Slugcat? I already have beaten the Secret Slugcat. We did that, when did we do that? Did we do that last stream, or is that the stream before that? I got 4 echoes, and then we beat game, even though any percent ending is very easy. Was it Saturday? Okay. It's on your YouTube, right? It should be on my YouTube right now, yes. Silver of straw, yes. And no one understood anything. People were like, oh, green overseer, what does it mean? Hello, Will. How's it going? Have you seen my amazing finishing? I feel like you would like it. Me finishing Pain Cat, and then voicing the thing after it. I was very tired. It was very good though. Aqua Pearl is signed by NSH. Wait, what? Did you not see it? Did you see me voices? It sounds agonizing. Oh, I didn't do as good at the end, but the base idea is there. What voices? Voices in my head signed her. Hello, furtive Voltine. So yes, now we got all three of them worked out. Cool. Hello, everyone. Let me check something real quick. Bottom YouTube or something. It's already on YouTube. It's already on YouTube. I'm thinking I might highlight it and have it as its own thing, though. Would people want that on my main YouTube? Oh no. So if you look in my About section, there's the VODs YouTube, and you look on that. It's actually the most recent one, posted 22 hours ago. Just make it unlisted or something. No. No. Can you actually pick up a third one? Show me it right now. Okay, whatever. I guess you can pick up a third spear. I really thought you couldn't put another one on your back after. Why? This will make sense. Okay. I'm done. This is not the right challenge thing. I'm done. Thank you all for watching. I think we're gonna go raid the person we were just talking about, EliasBot. They're doing Rain World right now. As available, post this emote for raid. It's required. Or the equivalent non-moving one. You're so quiet for some reason. The game is quiet because I put it down, but also I'm kind of talking quiet. Turned up much to even hear you. It's balanced audio for me on my end. Alright. Roast and EliasBot though. I will stream tomorrow. It looks like we're probably doing jolly co-op things tomorrow with Evo and Nano. Thank you all for watching. This was good. I'll try to cut up the videos we did today so we can do submissions and stuff, but I might do more again. Thank you for everyone that rated as well, and thank you all for showing up. It's been really cool to see as many people that we had show up today, especially recently. So wait, did I press the button? I didn't press the button. It's starting now. I think EliasBot just beat Gourmand. We're gonna wait a second until he's actually past the cutscene so nobody sees it. Yeah, Elias bot just beat Gourmand. Cool. Audacity controls my main volume. Amazing. Why would that do that? Of all things. Or wait a second. We can't press raid now yet. We gotta get past the cutscenes. Oh, I love those cutscenes. They're so good. I think he got all the food quests too. Required. Yep. There it is. I just joined Holotreon. Going to Elias bot now. You have to post the blue lizard emote when you get in there. Above volume slider goes up, debell slider for some reason. Okay. Also, yes. Alright. We've made it past the cutscene. I'm gonna press raid now. Right now. Thank you all for watching. I'll stream tomorrow and Saturday. Also, there's the Rain World anniversary thing. Fahrenheit here is also going to be part of the stream for that. Alright, okay, goodbye.